content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions. Opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
AMP2.TV presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on AMP2.TV. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Good evening and happy Thursday. Welcome to Tell Us Your Biz on AMP Media Special. My name is Erica Gasbarro and I am a communication consultant. So, what is that? Well, I teach people how to own a room, how to leave lasting impressions, how to show up the best version of themselves to create gravity and magnetism when they walk in a room, especially for individuals who are looking to do more public speaking engagements, for businesses who are looking to brand themselves, whether on the radio, on a podcast, in an elevator, if you got 30 seconds with someone. So I work with people every day and I teach them how to show up in a way that creates authority and magnetism. And I love it. So a little bit about me and my background. I was first thrown on stage when I was 2 years old. So I have a musical theater, a dance background. I did drama my whole life. So I am very animated. If you can't tell, I really use a lot of my hands when I'm talking, when I'm walking. If I'm actually not talking, I'm probably just sitting still. I'm also Italian, so that's where it comes from. So I am really excited today to talk about what actually makes somebody more impactful with their communication. How can you learn these tools and strategies to show up, and whether you're at a networking meeting, you're on stage, you're in a virtual or an actual meeting room, whatever it is that you're doing, how do you leave an impact? So, I know everyone has their own ways of doing this, but I think I'd love to make tonight a just general conversation around some of my best tips and practices around how you do this in everyday experience. So I will open it up. Anyone is interested in calling today and having a conversation with me, asking me questions, give us a call, 888-994-4995. So the lines are open. Give me a call and ask me any question. So the first thing I do, if I'm really excited to walk in somewhere and meet people, whether I know who I'm going to meet, maybe I have an idea of who's going to be there, the first thing you want to do is set an intention. I know, it might seem a little silly, like who cares, you're there to talk, right? No. Before you even walk into a space, it's really important energetically for you to really understand and commit to whatever version of you is going to show up and deliver the goal that you want. So, for instance, if your goal is to walk around the room and hand out as many business cards as possible, then make that your goal. If your goal is to find somebody who wants maybe to hire you, or you're looking for a mentor or a coach, make that your goal. I walk in the room all the time, and my goal is to be the most exciting, most impactful person that I possibly can be. And with that mindset, when you walk in, you naturally have magnetism. You naturally have this authority. So the very next thing after, when you have set your intention of what you want to achieve walking into any space, the very next thing is, what are you going to wear, right? Impressions are a funny thing. People judge you the minute they see you. Within the first minute, they automatically create a judgment, for better or for worse. Now, if you come prepared, you can really leverage this. What can you do? How can you hold your body? What can you say? And how can you create an experience within 1 minute with someone that allows them to have a deep connection with you and also be looking forward to the next time they talk to you. Now, if you are a business owner, these should be top of mind things that you want to learn. How do you show up as an owner? How do you create more clients, more money, more sales? And how do you represent your business with professionalism, class, and impact? So if you're not thinking about what do I look like? How do I sound? How am I making connections with people? And what is the impact of my presence in a room? You're missing out. Because this is key, especially if you're looking to make sales, make connections, and make more money. So something else I do after I figure out what I want to wear, and just to that point, I highly recommend you choose something that you feel really good in. I know it sounds silly, but sometimes as women, or anyone that wears heels, we want to put on our most high heels, but those are not the most comfortable. So you kind of have to figure out, what am I going to feel really confident wearing? Maybe you have a special color that you love to wear. Mine's purple. So I'll wear my purple professional jacket, maybe some purple shoes, maybe a cute hair clip, and I just walk in feeling like I own this space. Now, you might think that's a little crazy, a little cocky, but I call it confident. Now, everyone that's walking in there has their own reason for being in a space. Maybe it's dinner. Like I said, maybe it's a networking event. Maybe it's a big conference that people are walking in. Everyone comes in with their own baggage, a ton of thoughts going on. So I would recommend the minute that you walk in, try to just clear out everything in your head. The reason being is because the moment you step in a room, the moment you start to engage, even just energetically, before you start speaking, you are picking up data. Where's the bar? Where are all these people? Where are the doors? Where's the bathroom? Kind of do a little lay of the land to understand where you are, and then start to check in and look around and see who's there, right? So if there's somebody that seems maybe a little quiet, a little uncomfortable, I tend to go towards people like that because I want to make them feel excited. I want them to have a connection with me. And I also feel like most people don't remember what you say to them, but they will remember how you made them feel. So you're always going to have the intention that when you show up, whether you're in front of 1, 2, 20, 200 people, what can I do to show up to create the most impact, the most value, and to build a connection with someone in the shortest amount of time? So what are some strategies around doing this? I will tell you that the best way that you can do this, and this is something we spoke about on my podcast recently, is you think you have to come in with all of these topics of discussion. You don't. A really great way when you start talking to someone is to just stop talking. A lot of people, when they're nervous, tend to talk a lot. So if you can just hold space for another individual and listen, you're gathering more data. So things that you want to listen for are, what are their values? What do they care about? What are their pain points? What are things that excite them? What are their passions? Okay, these are big things. And you will find if you listen, people readily give you this information, without even asking for it. So let's rewind a little bit. The very next thing after you figure out what you're gonna wear and you feel confident, you walk in, lay of the land, you're gonna walk up to someone. You're going to make sure that when you introduce yourself, you are looking them in the eye. Now, I know some people are not super comfortable with eye contact, but for me, it is very important that the very first impression you get of me is somebody who is confident and that wants to make a connection. So think of it as an open door. If I walk up to someone and I put my hand out and I look down and I'm not even looking at somebody when I introduce myself, that person initially goes, this person doesn't care about me. Right? It could be even just a subconscious thing that you don't realize you're doing. So what I would recommend is look people in the eye and give them a firm handshake. I think sometimes for women, we tend to want to do a little limp noodle. we don't want to be, doing a firm handshake, but I think it's very important, especially if you're in a professional setting. You want to feel like everyone around you sees you as an equal. And the very first, easiest way you can do that is by a firm handshake. All right, so we're in the room. We've made eye contact. We've done the handshake. Here's my absolute best tip that I'll probably say all night. You're gonna ask them for their name, And as you respond, as they say their name, so, hi, I'm Erica. Hi, I'm Chris. You're going to say, it's nice to meet you, Chris. You're going to say that person's name 2 to 3 times in the next 30 seconds of you meeting them. Now, it might seem a little weird or a little uncomfortable, but what you're doing is a few things here. You're committing their name to memory. And I would go as far to say that the best thing that you could ever do for another person is to say their name. People naturally just love hearing other people say their name. I mean, you could be in a room and you say my name, and I'm like, oh, who's calling me, right? Like, I'm excited. I want to know, like, what am I missing out on? So telling someone that you know their name by saying their name over and over again, it now engages this person in a way that's very subtle. So now you've said their name 2, 3 times, you've made eye contact, you have a strong handshake. Now you can actually start with a conversation. This person, I can promise you, is already going to be a little bit more calm, a little bit more open, just based off the fact that you've said their name a few times. So this is kind of my little like back pocket hidden trick. And the person I'm talking to immediately just like is totally invested because they know that I know their name. And at any point, I can say their name. I can introduce them to others. So if someone's walking over, I can say, hi, welcome to the group. This is Chris. And I can introduce someone because I know their name. And this is awesome because what this does is it automatically gives you authority. So now you are kind of composing, right, as you're introducing people around you. So another thing that I like to do in this moment is when somebody is, comfortable in talking to me, as I said before, I like to just be quiet. Sometimes it makes sense to ask questions if people are kind of quiet and they don't really feel comfortable talking. But a lot of times people get nervous and they just want to talk. So if you ever don't feel like you have anything to say, or maybe you're feeling a little nervous, I recommend just pausing. The power of a pause is very, very powerful, especially if you've been talking a lot. See what I mean? So use the pause in your benefit. Now, if somebody walks into the room that you really want to see, maybe you're excited for them to come, maybe you're a little nervous, you want to make the introduction, what do you do if you're in the middle of a conversation with someone else? These are little subtle gestures that I can teach you to get yourself out of a conversation and into the one that you want to have. Before we do that, I do want to ask if anyone is interested in learning more about this, please give me a call. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about these tips and tricks so far, and I would be happy to answer any questions in regards to the first introduction that you have when you meet someone. So call me up. I'm happy to have a conversation about it. All right, let's move on. Hopefully those phones ring soon. So you want to meet somebody. Maybe you're trying to get out of an uncomfortable conversation. What do you do? I will tell you from a dancer and somebody who did musical theater and drama her whole life, body language is so powerful. If you are interested in a conversation or you're speaking to someone who's interested in you, you will find that they're more open. They stand a little more open. They lean in to hear what you're saying. And a really great way to get people to do this unconsciously or subconsciously is to lean in when they talk. And naturally, they will begin to mirror you as the conversation deepens and your connection grows. So little subconscious tricks here. So if you're trying to get out of a conversation and maybe you're hungry, you want to go to the bar, whatever it is, the very first thing you can do is continue your conversation the way it is and start to slowly move and direct your body in the direction in which you want to move. Now, your eyes still stay on that person. You're not interrupting anything, but somehow this person is going to feel, oh, like this person is trying to leave. Now, don't just run for it, right? You got to do this in a subtle way. But body language here really helps. And at a certain point, when you feel it's appropriate to break the conversation, you assert your body language back towards that person. And you say, thank you so much for this conversation. I can't wait to talk to you. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go get a drink, whatever, go talk to somebody. So it's like a breakaway, and then you come back. You don't want to just leave this way because then that person might feel like you abandoned them or that they weren't very interesting. So you always want to bring it back before you leave. Interesting, right? You probably never notice these things when you're talking to people, especially if you are somebody who is interested in learning these tips. Maybe you're an executive, maybe you're a president of a company. Do you realize that every time you talk to someone, you could be talking to a new client, you could be talking to a new sale, you could be talking to maybe the next new hire that you have. So all of these little things, when you're intentional about it, can really help you to make an impression and to leave one. So, where are we at, guys? Any phone? Anyone want to call? Do we have a call? Awesome. We're going to get ready for that call here. But I do want to just say, if this is something you're interested in learning more about, I would love to work with you. So I work with teams, I work with businesses, I work with owners, I work with individuals. I do one-on-one. I'm building a course that teaches people how to do this, and I would love to work with you in the future. No call? Sure. We'll take a break now, and we'll welcome the calls when we come back. Stay tuned.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
This is Smoke Barbecue. We're located in Fort Lauderdale at 3351 Northeast 32nd Street, Fort Lauderdale 33308. Our website is www.eatsmokebbq.com. It's EATSMOKEBBQ.com. You can order online. We also do catering for 10 to 10,000.
If you are looking to bring your family out to an incredible food venue, this is the place. We're at Smoke Barbecue in East Fort Lauderdale. Everything is amazing. You can see their faces on our crew, and the amount of food that they have taken down in about 15 minutes is absolutely unbelievable.
And we're still going. I can't talk, I'm eating.
And everything is coming. So here, let's eat.
Do you want the opportunity to have a TV show or podcast? Now, at Amp Media Productions, you can host your very own visual broadcast anywhere around the world. With our talented group of creators, we will provide you with show elements, board operations, and any on-screen visuals you'd like to showcase. All you must do is log onto your computer and communicate with your viewers. Contact Amp Media Productions at 866-224-5422 or email hello@amp2.tv to start your own show today.
Amp2.tv presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on Amp2.tv. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Hello and welcome back to Tell Us Your Biz. I am excited to talk about this next topic here. This is something that I have done for a very long time without even being aware that I was doing it. So, have you ever heard of mirroring? And do you realize it is probably one of the most powerful tools that you can use in communication. To the point where if you get super good at doing this, you can even get people to respond to you in a way that you want them to, using their body. Things like standing up, things like clapping, all of it, okay? It's almost like you're able to orchestrate the room, which is really cool. So what is mirroring? So when you're interacting with someone and you first sit down, you have a conversation, maybe you're doing an interview, whatever it is, you're gonna get a sense of this person's energy right off the bat, right? There's people that come out real strong like me. They're like, yeah, let's go, woo, you know? And there are people that just are a little bit more toned down. So you have to be the one who changes where you're at based off the person you're talking to. Now, this isn't a tool you have to use all of the time, but it's something that I have found that when meeting new people specifically, it is extremely helpful. So this is how it works. You meet someone, I walk in all excited, here I am, do the handshake, hey Chris, nice to meet you, and we're off. Now I realize Chris is a little bit more closed off. How do I know that? He's sitting back with his arms closed. Maybe his legs are crossed. Maybe he's like looking off into the distance. He's not really making a lot of eye contact. He's not wanting to connect, right? So I am going to subtly start mirroring Chris's physical behavior. So if he's sitting a certain way, I might change my body language. And I might sit a little more, comfortable, a little bit more laid back. If he's saying words over and over again, like, he might say, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know how people have these little phrases that they use? I might throw out a, you know what I'm saying, as I'm talking to him. And I might even mirror his gesture when he does that. So what does this do? On a subconscious level, I am aligning myself and bringing us both into a connection, kind of like a synergy here. So as he starts to see that I'm responding to him like a mirror, naturally, he's going to start to feel more comfortable with me. So why is this important? When people feel comfortable with you, they tend to open up more. They feel safe being vulnerable. They start to talk about things that are important to them, like their passions, like their values, like things that drive them, right? As I started today's conversation, I told you that these are the important things that you want to get out of people right away. And not in a sense of just like learning about them so you can use it against them. No, you want to do this in a genuine way and come from curiosity. Because once you understand things like what makes this person tick, what do they care about? What are their values? What is their most important thing? Now, if you are somebody who maybe owns a business or you're looking to increase your network, increase your net worth, this person could be a customer of yours. This person could be a trusted advisor of yours. This person could be somebody that you bring in to refer to someone else. And now you have to build a relationship in order to do that. By knowing these important things, you can speak to them in a way that reaches them. So, back to mirroring. Chris is talking. I'm moving my arms the way he is. I'm sitting in a similar way to him. Here's the cool part. Once you're able to really sync up in this mirroring experience, you can start to add in different gestures and different tone, and you will notice the person sitting across from you will start to mirror you. So, pretty powerful, right? You can do this one-on-one, you can do this in a group of people, and it is especially powerful if you're doing this on stage. You can get an entire group of people to stand up and applaud you if you do this right. So, anyone who's interested in learning more, on Monday, I'm going to be at 388. It's an awesome Italian restaurant on Federal Highway, Federal Highway here in Fort Lauderdale. So if this, in Boca, right? And I would love to meet you. If you have questions around different tactics that you think you would like to learn, different strategies, everyone's different. We all have a different brand, a different pitch, and a different way we want to show up to our audience. So meet me and let's talk through different ways that we can do this together. Appreciate you guys.
This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on amp2.tv, and if you wish to be a guest, call 866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422. This has been an AMP